AITA for refusing to give up my seat on the plane so a boy could sit next to his father and tell the father to behave himself? So basically, I, 29F, boarded my short flight, 70 minutes, which has a 2-to-2 seating arrangement. I had booked myself a window seat, and when I got there I saw a maybe 7-year-old boy sitting in there, next to his father, about 50 years old, in the aisle seat. The opposite row also had his mother and his sister sitting there. Although this happened less than 24 hours ago, I was exhausted, so I don't remember the conversation word for word. I pointed towards my seat, and the father asked me if I would mind swapping so they could sit together, and that their seat was in the row behind it. I said that I would only swap if it were a window seat, and he said it is an aisle seat. Then I said I wouldn't swap, and the following conversation happened. Him. So do you want to sit next to my son? Me. I don't care, I want the window seat. Him. Standing up and getting his son up, you are a very nice person. I mean, not a very nice person. Me. It's none of your business and be polite. Him. I am not. Referring to polite. Me. I said something I don't remember, and behave yourself. I just stood there looking at him seriously. I think he was trying to shame me initially, but he didn't respond anything else to that. His wife was watching this the whole time. When somebody in the row behind saw it, he offered to swap and sat next to me, so they did eventually sit next to each other. For all I care, they could have sat 20 rows apart, or even booked a new flight. I had zero investment in this or their reasons. They can ask, I can say no, and that should be the end of it. I didn't like they basically pulled a fait accompli when trying to swap with me. If they care that much, they can book their seats in advance like everyone else. I didn't have a good reason why I needed the window seat except that I like it and don't like the aisle seat, lol. Edit. I used to read all those posts where people said they didn't expect this to blow up. Well, I thought I'd get like a dozen answers. But almost 2 million views in 24 hours is crazy, lol. Many people are wondering why I'm insisting on a window seat. I like to look out, but mainly if I need a nap. That is unlikely to happen if I can't rest my head against the window. Other than that, I hate aisle seats a lot, equally if not more than middle seats. People and the drinks trolley keep bumping into you. I don't. So what do you guys think? AITA?
Now let's get to our next story. I, 27M, have a strange living situation. I live with a family, Chris, 65M, Danielle, 59F, and their son, and do household chores in exchange for rent. I've lived here for 19 months. It's mostly smooth sailing. I work full-time and am applying to law school. Danielle has some issues with boundaries. She doesn't understand why she can't enter my room without permission, for example. And I know it's both due to age differences and the fact that they allow me to live in their house for free. I have to be very careful when enforcing boundaries. Yesterday, I made dinner for everyone after a full day of chores. Around 10 p.m., as I was finishing the dishes, Danielle told me I needed to steam clean the carpet in the living room because the cats had peed all over it. I did, and as I was putting the steam cleaner away, Danielle entered and said she wanted me to do another room. Because it was 10:30 and I still wanted to work on an application before bed. I politely but firmly said, I'm not going to do that. I probably should have said, I'll do it tomorrow, but I was exhausted, so I just said no. I put the machine away, submitted my application, and went to bed. Tonight, as I was finishing up my meal prep for the week, Danielle cornered me in the kitchen. I don't want to fight about this, she said, but I wanted to mention something. Last night, when you told me you wouldn't clean the other room, I found it rude. You should be careful when you say things like that at work so that you don't get fired. I was floored. I snapped, Danielle, you haven't had a job since before I was born. You don't get to give me advice about how to act in the workplace. Danielle rolled her eyes and huffed, see, I didn't want to fight about this, and walked out of the room. I called after her. Then maybe don't bring it up? Danielle hasn't spoken to me since, and I don't know what's coming. For context, Danielle has only had one job in her whole life, from age 22 to age 25. After that, she quit to raise kids. I grew up very poor. I have been working since I was 14 and supporting myself since I turned 18. They offered to start our arrangement in 2023 because they needed help around the house and I was struggling financially. As for Danielle's work advice, I currently work as a regional manager at a small firm. Not only is her advice outdated, but I can't take it. I'm a people manager. A lot of my day-to-day job involves being polite but unyielding. I think she was frustrated by my setting a boundary and that's why she brought it up. I know part of my frustration is that I feel powerless to protest most of the time. I will be moving out in August of this year when I go to law school, hopefully. And my goal is just to make it until then. I'm also really frustrated that Danielle felt like she could say whatever she wanted and then walk away as if I had no right to feel anything. AITA for what I said?
Now, on to the next story. AITA for not helping my mom not lose her house. I, F29, have always had a pretty close relationship with my mom. We lived about an hour from each other, which I know isn't far, but we both had our own homes and lives. I always called her for everything. She used to ask me to go out and have like dinner or go see a movie, etc. We were pretty close up until this. Growing up, my mom made a lot of mistakes. Don't think I'm not grateful for my mom. I am. But she had a terrible gambling addiction, owed real bad people money, moved close to 10 times between the ages of 7 to about the time I was 18 due to evictions or mortgage foreclosures, and has been into hard drugs in and out throughout my life. May of 2023, I call my mom and ask her about what we should do for Mother's Day and or her birthday. Her birthday is a week after Mother's Day, and we normally just celebrate one or the other. Knowing she worked her birthday, I had asked her if she would like to do something on Mother's Day instead since I work later swing shift and could do something before I work. She proceeds to tell me she has the day off, and I was shocked. I ask her how, and she goes, I quit, I don't work there anymore. Obviously, I was confused ASF and asked for more, and she gave me a bullshit story. Later in the next few months, I find out that she actually got fired for doing drugs in the parking lot at her job. I've tried throughout the rest of this time until recently to get her to talk to me about this or get her help with like a rehab or anything like that. She's never been interested in getting help. She hadn't worked since May of 2023 now. All she does is stay at home, do drugs, and call me at 3 a.m. with random shit that she's hyped up about and tell me all the projects she's doing and stuff about her dogs. It breaks my heart that she's still trying to update me in her life and what she's doing, but I can't stand to talk to her now. As of a week ago, I found out that my mom is now so far behind on her mortgage that it's going into foreclosure. Her and her also drug addict husband, at least he has a good paying job, are trying to scrounge up the money to buy their home back from the bank. He makes a good amount of money, but clearly they haven't been spending their money on the damn mortgage. They owe $178K still on the mortgage and need to get $6K to cover the late payments and whatever, and then they need to apply for the loan. My mom calls me and asked me if I could borrow her the money. I told her how could I trust that that money would be going to the mortgage and not her drug addiction. She tells me, "What you're talking about," like she always has said throughout my life. I tell her no, I won't give her the money. She cries to me, begging me to give her the money, or she's going to lose her home. I tell her to get a job and I hung up the phone. I start to explode with tears because I'm so heartbroken and sad for her, and I feel terrible for not giving her the money, but I just don't know what to do. What would you do if you were in this situation? Thank you all for watching my very first YouTube video. Be sure to like and subscribe and have a good day.